Hello YouTubers. So lately we've been having issues with our fireplace. I think it's a Massport fireplace, but that's about as far as I know about it and how it's been installed. But lately we've been having a lot of smoke coming out of there. Now before the season started, my wife did her general check up the flue and everywhere else she could see, and it all looked fine, and for at least 1 month or so it was working fine. But we then started noticing white smoke and filling up the house, but you couldn't see where it was coming from. I believed it'd be coming through the door, as it's probably 15 to so years old. I thought maybe it just needed some new seals, but one day we noticed it was actually coming through there, and it was coming through every time you lit the fire for the first 20 minutes, and then it would clear up and you wouldn't notice it anymore. But the whole house would be full of smoke and you would have to have the doors open, so a little bit disconcerting. So after getting in the ceiling, pulling that silver piece out to see if there was any holes or splits in the chimney, making sure it was all sort of checked up, and then decided the next day to go on the roof and actually have a look at the top hat, and that's where the problem was, which I will show you.
Ow!
As you can see, this is our chimney. Luckily we got a good roof to work on. It's nice and easy to work with. But this is our problem. The old top hat should actually be sitting about roughly about there. But it's been sitting there, and it restricts the airflow to non-existent. So it's been sucking it back down the second chimney to the two-stage sort of chimney in there, sucking it back down and then back into the ceiling. So if I took this off, you can see that's the main sort of chimney, and then you got another. Oh, it's quite warm in there actually. The air conditioning must be warming it up. Oh, there he goes. Bye. Right. So we can see we've got basically 3 chimneys. You got the one on the outside that protects the roof of the rubber boot and the ceiling. You got another one which is sort of the thermal barrier, I suppose, to stop anything else catching on fire. And then the main sort of chimney, which this one needs a bit of a clean again. But this is what we've got to fix today. I went to Bunnings and I was hoping to buy something similar to fix this, but unfortunately there was a no-go, so we had to order it. So we've been without a fire for two months now, and it is bloody freezing out here, and that's why I'm wearing 2 jumpers, because it's getting below 0 every day and every night, and it's not very pleasant. So let's fix it. Rightio, as you can see, yeah, multiple pieces to this. So that's what it's sort of supposed to look like. As you can see, the rust is what killed this. It's missing half its OD diameter up the top, so not going to be able to fix that, unfortunately. So what we ended up doing, good on the good old face, YouTube, fart, YouTube, no, eBay, got there eventually, and found this from this mob. And it's pretty reasonably priced, really. So as soon as we sent it, they sent it back to us, or paid for it, they sent it straight to us, so that's happy days. No damage, nothing. Obviously it has other stuff packed in there, but I took it out before I got on the roof. It's an exact ringer for the other one. And that's what it should look like. And in there. Now, by no means I'm a professional doing this stuff. This is the first time I've really played with one. But how hard could it be? I mean, you can only burn your house down once, can't you? Give it a go. And yes, I have burnt a house down before. Wasn't my fault though. Let's see what I can do. It's a bit hard doing one hand. Okay, I'm going to have to put you down because you can't see anything. Right, yeah, it's all on. Pretty easy, it's just slipping it over. You do have to tap it a little bit depending on how deformed your chimney actually is. But that's a massive improvement. Even just visually, I feel like not lighting the fire just because I like the shininess. And yeah, there is a little bit of a dent in here. I accidentally made when I was trying to get in, but I think that was already sort of there. But I don't think that's going to make too much of an issue, to be honest with you. I'm sure someone in the comments can rectify that and say, nah, you stuffed it. But we shall see. The proof will be in the pudding, as they say. And I just picked me a set of these up. And I tell you what, I'm very happy with them so far. They're a lot smaller than my normal Makita stuff, but God, they do work quite well. Very light, easy to use. Right, let's see. One other thing that we also did realise was this is a pretty big fireplace or firebox, and we do cut all our own firewood, and we will chuck it in some monster pieces. And I think over the years, chucking in big pieces, and I always sort of assumed that the fireplace was anchored down to the ground, but it actually really isn't. And we think it's been sliding back, which has then put the chimney on a funny angle, which is probably not helping the situation of. So that's what was our original thought, that maybe that was wrong, but everything else was sealed up when I checked it. But now we've got to bring this fireplace back straight, away from the wall. I might cut some spaces and put behind it to stop it from sliding back as we chuck massive logs in. And you will see us do that now. Hopefully it all goes to plan. And you'll probably see me climbing on this fireplace to fix that up. Mission success. I mean, we're going to have to watch it periodically to make sure we don't burn the house down. But, oh yeah, it's working quite well. Before we would have seen a lot of smoke coming out. And, I mean, before you couldn't even really see that the top hat, unless you actually knew what it looked like, falling down into itself. Because it always looked low, but it just looked normal. So now that we know that there should be a good gap between it, which sounds like common sense, but when you look at it and you don't want to touch it, because all you touch it is going to generally break. But it's working. Happy days.